called Authentic Gospel Music. So I haven't done this for 25 years, so welcome to me coming out of retirement. I used to travel all over the country, and I'll tell you just briefly, I was brought up Catholic. So you say, how did you know?
I can identify.
Huh?
I can identify.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people. We didn't have any choice, did we?
That's
We were
right.
born into it.
Yeah.
So when I was 20 years old, 19 or 20, in 1976, I became a Christian at a Nazarene church. I got saved, and that's another whole long story. But anyway, Nazarenes, are you familiar with that church? Church of the Nazarene? It's just like, actually like Baptist. Yeah, and I was immersed, so if I become a member here, I already been dunked. In fact, I remember it was in January in upstate New York, and our church didn't have a baptismal, so we had to go to a Seventh-day Adventist church because they're closed on Sunday, you know. And we went in there in January, and they had forgotten to put the heat on, and I was like, and I went in there and I got out, and oh man. So that summer they had one at the beach outdoors, and I did it again just so I could, you know, experience what it's supposed to feel. You know? I was too froze the first time. So anyway, I got saved, and I went to their school in Boston, Eastern Nazarene College. I majored in music and history. So to be a music historian, you know, that worked out. But it wasn't too long after that I started hanging out with the Pentecostal people, believe it or not, in Boston. You wouldn't think. Then a life of mistakes or whatever. Anyway, I kept wondering after I got saved that the Nazarenes are holiness people, you know. I don't know if they still do it, but you know, you can't go to movies, the women have to put a bun in their hair or whatever it was. I don't remember. They don't do that anymore, I don't think. But they used to talk about the world's music in their churches. And, you know, we don't want the world's stuff in our church, right? We still don't. But I used to wonder, you know, and then, you know, they did the hymns and all that, was fine, but I still like this, you know. And I said, am I really saved? Because I still like, you know. So I said, something fishy going on. So why do I like that? And why does that kind of music, when I hear it in churches, and I used to hear it in like black churches, that's the best music I ever heard. And I said, why do they call that the devil's music and the world's music? I said, it makes me feel good. So I decided to look it up and do some research, and oh, did I find out a lot of stuff. Basically, all the stuff that we call the world's music was originally ours.
Amen.
All the people that started blues and jazz and rock and rap, all them people grew up in a church and learned how to sing and sing and well, dance too. Actually, dance too. Sing and play in the church. And when they got older, they just took the money and changed the words. But it's still our music. It's still our feeling that we're supposed to have. And I dug up some old brochures I used to hand out. Look at this picture. Anyway, I know. So this, and by the way, those tapes, they're, you know, you can take them. I just give them away. I used to sell them, but you see on the back they say 1993. That was the last time I did it for a living. Here's one of my old posters. And a unique and enjoyable presentation which touches all ages. Dr. Harold Helms, pastor, Angelus Temple, Los Angeles. Have you ever heard of Angelus Temple? That was Amy Semple McPherson's church. You've heard of her. That's the Foursquare Church's headquarter church.
Put it up in front of the camera.
Hold it up.
Hold it up to the camera. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, wait a minute. You want to really gag?
Hold it this way again. One more time.
Here's another one. I dug these things out. I have to get them out of a cold storage or whatever. Anyway, there was a blurb that I wrote for people. I'm going to read it to you real quick. It says, "What is authentic gospel music?" Okay. So this is kind of like my research. And I wrote it down. I was going to write a book. In fact, I started writing a book, but I never finished it. Maybe I still will. It says, "Gospel music is the only style of music that is truly American in origin. All other styles of music were either brought here from Europe or other continents, such as classical forms or the hymn form, etc., or was music that developed from or copied gospel music." Those styles are American music too, like rock, jazz, blues, rap, country music. That all came from America, but it's not original. It came from church music. Church music is the root. Okay? The term gospel music was coined by Thomas A. Dorsey, who is recognized today as the father of gospel music in Chicago during the 1920s. How many have heard of Thomas Dorsey? Not Tommy Dorsey, the band leader. Thomas A. Dorsey. You've heard him. You know who I'm talking about. Thomas A. Dorsey, as a black man, and before the 1920s, these songs weren't called gospel songs. They were called, I don't know, religious music or all other kind of music, but he coined that term. The music he labeled gospel actually had been around for a long time, having been brought about by mostly unknown men and women, mainly from the South, mainly African American, during the 19th century, with roots and influences going much further back in time. Professor Dorsey was the first trained musician to take this old music, write it out, enliven it, and make it what it is today. In fact, early gospel compositions were known as Dorseys. Now, if you've never heard of Thomas Dorsey, he wrote some songs you might have heard of. Well, I'm tired, and I'm so weary, but I must go on till the Lord comes and calls me away. Where the mornings are so bright, and the Lamb of God is the light, and the nights they're as black as the sea. There will be peace in the valley for you and me someday. Okay, well that's enough. I don't want to do the whole songs because I won't have time. Anyway, he wrote that one. He wrote this one too.